Hello. What are you doing here? It's quite late, isn't it? Well, you should be going home then, shouldn't you? It gets quite dangerous at night, as you know. You wanted to speak with me. Darling, whatever the topic may be, you should have brought it up earlier. Or waited till tomorrow. As your employer, I see no issue with you lending some of your work time to talk to me, especially if it prevents you from staying here so late. No matter, the past is past. What did you want to talk about, darling? What else can you do for me? Oh dear. You've been doing more than enough already. There's nothing else I could ask of you at the moment. The future. Darling, I'm gonna need you to be a bit more direct. I feel like you're hinting at something here, and I apologize. The years have not been kind to my sense of tact, let's say. Feed from you? What? Absolutely not. No, that is the end of that, and I'll not be changing my mind on the matter. I apologize, my dear. That was quite rude of me. But I mean what I said. It's far too dangerous. Too much risk, not enough reward. I'm not saying I need it. I have my ways of getting blood. But, well, it has been a bit difficult to get it lately, for some reason. It's nothing to be worried about, just yet. Darling, if we're going to have this conversation, I insist that you sit with me. There's plenty of tea left as well. Don't want any tensions rising. Of course not. This is a very serious conversation, and that I should have had with you earlier, and, well, no time like the present, so. It's not about being stubborn. These proceedings are much more complex than donating blood to a hospital as you normally do. Not to mention much more dangerous. Somewhat bureaucratic as well. The amount taken needs to be enough for a meal, so it's rarely all done in one go. And with how often I feed, I usually need an impressive amount, let's say. The blood is taken over a course of time, usually a few days, so that you have time to get it back and not pass out. Those who drink it straight from the source, let's say, either do it for pleasure or therefore take very little, usually just for the sensation of it, the intimacy, or they bleed their target dry. We don't really talk about those kinds. That is technically illegal. On top of that, I need to run tests to be sure it even be worth it, that you possess the right nutrients. That is, this is nowhere as simple as a human feeding. I mean, okay, so when your blood is taken to a hospital, or for a hospital, I should say, usually you go in without eating. Is it? Or is that just for exams? I apologize, I haven't had to do one of those in centuries. Anyways, with this, you need to be on a strict diet in order to keep cover all the bases, you know. If you lack, let's say, protein, they tell you to eat stuff with that. So it's all very complex. I didn't tell you sooner because you're already so skittish around me. I thought bringing up my diet would scare you further. It's one thing to know, it's another thing to see it and experience it first person. That's why I don't usually feed in front of you. Well, also I find it quite rude. It attempts to be a bit messy, even drinking out of a cup. Didn't even talk about how intimate it is to only have one feeder. But don't you mind that. You do so much more than enough for me as it is. If this offer was brought on by any work-related insecurities, rest assured, you are already indispensable to me in that regard. And I do greatly appreciate your company. You always have such wonderful insights to my questions, which no doubt must sound so unusual to you. And yet you always have something fascinating to say. It's not something most can boast, you know. I have been alive for quite a while. There's not much that can surprise me. Though I do try to keep a positive mindset about it. Well, since I was young, I've always been somewhat easily pleased. I guess time just made that a necessity, more than a choice. Well, when you live as much as I do, there's not much else left to see. It's pretty sad. Worry not for those aspects, my dear. I trade our time together for nothing. Not even precious blood. But I'll have to cut it short for tonight. It's getting far too late for someone like you. And so I urge you to go and rest until morning, when you can safely return home. You can use the guest room just next to mine. Should you need anything, I'll be here. Well, you know, I don't exactly need sleep, so... anything, and I'm just next door. And if it's so important to you, we can get back to this another time. For now, good night, and sweet dreams.